G'day YouTube, my name's Lance and welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report, oh, bloody hot. Yeah, look, yesterday, it's Monday morning, 6 AM here, and yesterday morning we got up to 34 degrees C yesterday morning, so yeah, she's bloody bit warm in the shed here. Sometimes we get the nice breeze coming in off the river, and on Saturday they had the boat racing down the river, and I played some of that last year. She was rattling through the shed here, but yeah, it was quite loud. But yeah, like through the middle of the day, early afternoon, she's hotter than the hooker's hip in here. She yeah, you just got sweat pouring off you. And but anyway, I've been up here doing a little bit. I've got 3 of the 4 carbies I've got to do done this week in the shed. But yeah, I'm still playing with one, and yeah, just busy. Just got a lot on at the moment, so that's all right. I had plans for the weekend. I was going to do the multi-power gearbox, and then see if I can finish the undercoat on the 135 behind me here, and do the hubs and all that sort of thing. So I mean, a bit of asthma again from all the dust and that hanging around, dust and smoke. But yeah, the Friday night granddaughter was sick, so we went over there and had beer and pizza and had a bit of a good time. And then yeah, next morning she was crook. Yeah, just a bit of a tummy bug, and then got tonsillitis. So yeah, the little fella, little Arrow 3-year-old bloke, he came over to stay at Poppy's for the weekend. So we didn't do any work, but we had a good time. We went for a tractor drive, and yesterday morning we hopped up early and we raced down to the Riverview, down the Elliott Heads, and we went fishing for an hour and a half before he got sick of that, and had to play on the swing and come back home here, and yeah, while he was having smoko with grandma and doing a bit of, he loves checking the eggs, with the chooks, and let's go check the eggs, Poppy. He checks the bloody eggs 10 times a day, but he enjoys that, and he goes out there, and if he goes missing, yeah, he's often just out there sitting watching the chooks, but he's wandering around the backyard there. So yeah, good for kids. So yeah, I snuck up here yesterday, and I did get the undercoat finished, and you can see all this here is just grey primer. Now that's Bearco undercoat, and look, it's as good as any, I find. I use it on a lot of stuff, and it seems to etch in well. I never have any troubles with it peeling on edges or anything like that. But I mean, I went to do some undercoat on it last week, and I've had this old spray gun for bloody years and years and years, and I remember when I was painting the gold one, I think it was, I must have left some shit in it and didn't clean it out like I should have, and I remember finding it like a month later thinking, oh shit, I better do that, and of course I just carried on doing what I was doing, and I didn't until until I went to use it this time. And so yeah, should have my ass kicked, but that's that's how it went. And so yeah, I went to spray it on, and I cleaned it out roughly, and I thought, oh well, it's only undercoat, I won't worry too much. But there was a little bit of rubbish set inside, and I was getting a fine spray out, and it was giving me a dry sample on the job here, which was no good. And so I ginned around and I cleaned it out, and I got it half all right sort of thing. But oh yeah, I was never happy with it. But look, that gun I've had for years, and it's been dropped and bashed, and what hasn't gone on with that little thing. And so anyway, I was in Trade Tools having a chat to them, and they have this suction gun, $55, and it's got a 2mm nozzle for the primer. And look, I thought, bugger it, I'll buy that. So I bought this gun. It's a Renegade R77 with a 2mm nozzle for the thick of the primers and things like that. You've got your pressure adjustment here, you've got your flow here, and you've got your fan, or your the width of your fan up the top here. And look, for $55, I thought, bloody hey, that's what I'm doing. So I yeah, look, I just bought that home and banged a bit of Bearco thinners in and a bit of Bearco primer, and primer undercoat, and come up here yesterday while Arrow was bugging around with Grandma, and I got the primer put on. And the other day when I was playing with the old gun, I actually got the hubs primed, and so once I got this primed, that gave me the opportunity then to get my other gun, which is a, and look, I don't buy expensive spray guns. We're painting tractors, and you can still get a pretty good job, but I bought a kit of these, 4 of them from Super Cheap Auto for $100 back half a dozen tractors ago. And just little gravity feed guns, and look, that does the job. You don't have to have the most expensive gear. You just need to know how to use it a little bit. And well, man, that sits there. Yep. And so yeah, while the I had this masked up because I'd already done a bit of okay. I had to have a bit of a break. I left the compressor on. It decided to start up in the middle of the stew, bloody thing. I usually switch it off, but yeah, must have had a bit of a brain fart this morning and left it on. And so yeah, yesterday I came up and I got the red on the hubs and on the centre of the rear axles on the brake drums, and I used a hardener. I just used the Bearco Massey Ferguson red with either Super Cheap Auto thinners, you know, the GP thinners, or your Bearco thinners. Bearco bring out a good thinners, and I often buy the Bearco thinners 20 litres at a time when I've got a big project on, and I just put a tap in, and yeah, it helps out no end. So I've got that done yesterday. I always use a bit of enamel add, a little bit of a hardener in the paint, and I find a little bit of hardener in the paint, it seems to help with the, it just makes the paint tougher, and it's a chemical cure then. If you just paint something, sometimes it takes a few days and the paint's still green, as in soft. So I like to put a bit of hardener in what I do, and it makes it a bit more resistant to oil and fuel and all that sort of thing too. So yeah, like I put, oh geez, I usually just put a squirt or two in. I don't know how much I put in, but I put some in, and it does make a difference for sure. And it also helps with your gloss. It seems to help bring the shine out in your paint and levels it out a little bit. So I'm a firm believer in a bit of hardener in the top coat. And so the plan today is to mask all these up, put a shopping bag over top of them, and mask it on the paint here, because that'll be nice, and that is cured now, like you can't mark that with your fingers. So we'll mask these up, we'll mask up the back hub, and hopefully today I'll be able to get a bit of grey on. I've got some Stonely grey out of Bearco once more. Looks to be a good colour, so that's what we're going to use. I don't have the camera gear anywhere near the place when I'm painting. I thought, oh, it wouldn't be bad, you know, set it up and set it up on slow-mo sort of thing, or whatever they call it, and yeah, just film it and, you know, run around spraying. But then I thought, oh, you know, I'll just bugger my gear up, so I'm not doing that. So hopefully I'll get a bit of that on. My mate Paulie's little Austin, the oil pressure's still high on that, so he's coming out this morning, and we're going to put a little bit of time into that again. And look, what I think, well, the spring on the relief valve is really strong, and so we're going to knock a coil off it and see if we can pull it back that way, because we've had the endoscope up the ports on the where the relief valve sits on the engine there, and look, it's all beautiful. It's just great, but it's just got too much pressure now. The ball he pulled out of it, like when he was driving it out here one day, his oil pressure went up, and that's what started this problem. And he's got high oil pressure, about 50 pound, and he should have, well, we found a service bulletin on it the other day for 20 to 30 pound hot. So we pulled all that out when we had it on the hoist here a few weeks ago now. We know the system's good, it's just that spring's too strong. And the old ball he pulled out of the main relief valve, pardon me, it was rusty and pitted from some time in its life, and so when we saw that, we put a new ball in. But all we can think of is that in its life, it's just been sitting there with this pit across, and it hasn't built up much oil pressure. So when they've adjusted it, the ball's just sat there against the spring and with the dicky surface, and it's just been bleeding off as he's been driving along for like years. And but now we've got a nice seat there and a new ball. The pressure's too high, so we worried about buggering his gauge on his dash, stretching it. And so Paulie's coming out today, and yeah, we're going to have a fiddle with the Austin. We're going to drop a couple of coils off that spring and just see if we can get it back to where we'd like to get it. He's got a granddaughter, and he's getting keen for Christmas, and he'd like to take her for a few laps in that thing, so that should work out okay. My mate Malteser, he's doing up a rat rod looking 9G Chamberlain for doing the tractor treks with us, and he's got a bit of a noisy gearbox, so I've told him I'll do the gearbox on that for him. So the last week, I'll take you for a walk out and just show you the gearboxes on the pallet. And he's got a third gearbox he just pulled out of a spare Chamberlain he had. He just pulled it out on Saturday, I think. Yeah, so a clutch kit for these Chamberlains for the 6Gs and all that, the full pressure plate, clutch plate, bearings and all is about $1,000. And thereabouts buy everything. So the clutch and pressure plate he's bought to me, the pressure plate has cracks across it, so it's just dangerous using it. I've seen them just break apart and take everything else out with them. So, pardon me. And so he pulled the gearbox out of his other chamby, and he showed me photos of the clutch. He's going to bring it over, and we're going to run through the pressure plate on a 9G Chamberlain. We're going to film that. I said, I don't mind helping you, but we're filming it. We're getting set up to do that. So, and he said, well, can he come and learn how to put the gearboxes together and all that? And I said, yeah, look, no worries, helping people, know stuff. If they, they're just a simple box. They're just a great old box, and very simple to do. They're all ball bearings and no end floats to set up really, and all that sort of thing. You just got to make sure everything sits in nice and firm. And I've had a couple where I've had to make a little shim or something, but we have the main drive, and then coming out the front, and I'll show you on the box over there, there's a PDO drive. Well, we're actually taking all that PDO drivetrain out of the box. He's just setting it up for tractor trekking, and so we're probably going to knock a Welsh plug up the end of the shaft to keep the oil in, and that'll take a lot of gear noise out of it, and there's unnecessary use of horsepower with this shaft out the back, and we can put another plate on to stop it leaking oil, and so we can make a good trekking box out of these. So we're going to film that, but I've got to find time somewhere in my week to get this multi-power box back together. So it's one of those weeks where I've just been bloody busy. Every night this last week I've been in the shed working, doing stuff, mainly doing bits and pieces for people, and which I enjoy doing, and it's just a good thing. I enjoy doing it, but I get behind. I get the list gets longer and longer on the stuff I've got to do. But look, that's okay too. I don't mind. I wouldn't be up here buggering around with it if I didn't enjoy it. So look, we'll go handheld for a moment. I'll just show you a couple of things. I've got a couple of new rims for the 135s here. Now, pardon me. Sparex. Well, actually, that's another bit of news, I suppose. Sparex. Now, we had a meeting with Sparex through the week, and I brought up the fuel tap thread problem that we're having, and they're saying no, they can't. They're still putting out the NPT thing, and the blokes in the offices, they're not changing. And I said, well, if you have a look at all your other taps, you look at the 35 tap, 135 tap, all that, they're 38 BSP, and you want to put the NPT thing in the TE20, you've got it ballsed up. But anyway, we're having trouble. Our rep James, he understands, but getting it further up, he sent it to England, and they're not listening. So anyway, and they've actually offered they helped me out. Sparex gave me some TE20 parts when I was playing with the Fergie, with a little 48 TE20, and they approached me again last week and they said, well, instead of just supplying parts, and big lumps of parts from time to time, we might work out like a budget, and they'll give me a float that I can use there, and when I'm doing my tractors up, my 135s, and I want to do an engine up on a 35 4-cylinder for you and a few things like that. Well, they said if they'll just give me a budget each year to spend, because we haven't done it for the last year or two, and I haven't asked them either, but they're looking at giving us a budget that we can work with. So, and I use a lot of their parts anyway by choice. So anyway, we'll see, but they've got the rear rims for the Fergies on special at the moment here in Australia, and a 10 by 28 rear rim, look, they're a bit over $100, 120, $30 or something like that. So look, that's a good deal. So while the deal was on, I've grabbed a couple for home here. Look, if you need some, just hit us up at the shop there. We can get them sent out of Melbourne, Sydney, wherever, to you, but the price will be plus freight, of course. But look, they're cheap, they're good. I'll take you over, I'll show you the rims. The paint on them's really good. Well, I'm thinking of not even painting them for me 135 for the multi-power, so we'll just see which way we go. And if we put just new tyres on those rims, well, that gives me the old tyres that came on the tractor to hold up one of these 35s or something like that. So that's a good thing. Yes, Sparex coming on board, plus the cheap rims they have at the moment, and Bearco at the moment, I believe, have the 19-inch wheel and tyre and tube, the whole assembly, for $260. Which, look, that's pretty good value here in Australia. If you bought the tyre separately and the wheel separately, it works out to be more. So, my mate Paulie with his Austin that we're playing with today, he's got a little grey Fergie we're working our way towards, and he's just bought a set of rims and a set of front wheels and tyres for when we get to it, just while they're cheap. So anyway, look, we'll go handheld. I'll go for a bit of a lap. I'll take you for a quick walk around the 135 here, and with any luck I'll get a chance to have a bit of a paint before Paul turns up, and I'll take you out and show you the gearboxes and all that, so you know what's going on in the shed. So hang tight. Okay, so here's the little 135. It's a little bit dark over this corner just at the moment. I've left the back door closed because when I'm trying to film in here it just flares out, and so look, we've got a nice shine there. Well, that'll be alright. Pardon me. And yeah, we've got all the primer everywhere, I believe. Then I'll come around here, and look, I paint the threads, and then I always go over them all with a die nut anyway before I put brand new nuts on. So that'll have new nuts. So how I do it is, I paint all this, and then this surface here, that's got a bit of primer and that on it now, but I tape around here and blank all this off, and then I can paint the whole tractor. And I have that definition. The 135 has red centres with silver rims, so yeah, look, the finish has come up pretty good on there. That's for the primer. So yeah, hopefully we get a bit of grey there today. Well, here we go. We've got a bit of grey, bit of Stonely grey on the old girl. She's coming up a pretty nice gloss. I'll try and keep the sun out of the... We've got the hubs, all the red's done there. A little bit glary here from the sun, but there's a nice gloss on it. Looks okay. That's nice and hard now. So the hole, that's a bit hard for you to see, I suppose, but yeah, too much shadow probably, but look, there's a lovely gloss on it, and that should look nice once we get all the other bits and pieces there put on it. The front axle's got a nice shine. You can see the shine across the front here as the light adjusts. So look, that'll be okay, I reckon. These are the 10-inch rims for the back of the Fergie. You can buy 10s, 9s, 10s or 12s, I think. And these are 10-inch rims. We're going to put 12.4 28s on the multi-power tractor here. This is just over near the multi-power, but yeah, I just grabbed them while I had a chance, and yeah, they'll be okay. They'll be a good thing. I haven't got any front rims here yet for it, but yeah, we will work away. We'll work away with that and see how we go too. But yeah, look, those rims, they're cheap at the moment, so if you want some, yeah, give Queensland Tractor Spares a yell and we'll be able to arrange it for you. Right, now these are the Chamberlain gearboxes of the old Malteser, and we're going to pop them apart and just redo them, re-race them, new bearings and seals. And you can see this is your PDO drive and this is your main drive, and we've taken the shaft out the back of that, so that's what we'll have. And we're just going to block up this here just to keep the oil from coming in. The main clutch there, look, that plate's not too bad. The splines are a bit dicky, but the pressure plate here, there's some quite good cracks coming through there. I can't actually see a bad one there, but they're there. And then this bracket here, that's a bracket to put it on our turning stand. So yeah, I supplied the steel and Paul made that in his spare time, so when we get going we can yeah, we can get it up there and get some nice shots and get it all filmed up okay. So they're an interesting little job. They're not a big job, but yeah, what we'll do, we'll strip it one day, then we give him a list of bearings and seals and that, and he goes away and buys all the parts just at the local bearing shop. There's nothing special about the parts in there, and he'll buy the the throw-out bearing and that off us in town there at Queensland Tractor Spares. But yeah, all the rest you can just get from anywhere, from the local bearing shop. And that over there is your PDO shaft, and this is your main drive shaft. And it actually had this collar up on there, supposed to be held on with a couple of grub screws, but there was no grub screws. This has just been floating up and down the shaft, but we're going to chuck that away. I've never seen one on there before, but it may have helped stop grass wrapping around the seal here, the rear output seal. But yeah, look, we're not going to worry about that with the new seals. We may try and put 2 seals in if we can buy them narrow enough. And then this PDO shaft here, where it is, we can take all that drivetrain out. There's a gear here, a gear and a bearing there, and another one there. But because we have a spare gearbox, we can actually take that plate off, get rid of all that stuff, and one of these blanking plates here, we're going to put one of these blanking plates down there. So yeah, we don't have to worry about the extra seal, and that takes all that drivetrain out of the gearbox. We don't need it. It's never going to need it again. He's taken the PDO off, all the hydraulics off the tractor, so we can put his camping setup and that on it. So yeah, that'll be interesting. This one's got a tag on it. One of the other gearboxes he's bringing over has the Chamberlain emblem cast into it. But so this, I presume this is a later box, and yeah, they just went that way just to make it a bit cheaper. So yeah, look, that's coming up. yeah, hopefully, I told him I'd try and get to it next weekend, so we'll see how we go. Me Fergies are getting a bit bloody pushed to the back here. I'm going to have to bloody kick up to upper middle management, I think. Okay, so that's our little walk around. We're back in front of the tractor, obviously. Oh, I cut me toe. Look, I had me open top safety boots on, and when I was mucking around with paint yesterday, yeah, I just walked past the fuel tank, and for some reason, yeah, I put my foot over under the fuel tank and a little sharp edge and took the side out of my toe. So anyway, my safety boots, buddy, didn't protect me toe. So yeah, so that's all right. I got my other safety boots on today, so we'll see how we go. Usually everyone says, "Oh shit, you dropped something on your toes," and I don't seem to do that. But yeah, I knocked the side out of it yesterday, just on the sharp edge on the fuel tank. So anyway, not to worry. No sooking when I've got boots I can wear, and just I wear my Japanese racing boots, so bloody Japanese safety boots, I should say. So, but anyway, look, that's it for this week. Yeah, look, thanks for dropping by. Yeah, do the like, subscribe, all that bullshit, and have a crack at that, and have a good week, everyone. And yeah, hopefully we get time today to do a bit of film, and the weekend's just about gone, and yeah, just with looking after the young bloke and that, we haven't got up to much. So, and opening the shop Saturday morning and all that, we just, yeah, I'm way behind, but look, that's fine. It's not a race. We'll catch you next week, eh?